I don't want to get home and hear the Father say to me, son, why'd you make me so small? And I'm positive that it's no possibility I can get home and Him say, son, why'd you make me so big? I don't think that can happen. Son, why'd you make me so loving? Paul, you were up there telling people how much I love them. There's no way I could love people as much as you were telling them I love them. Son, there's no way my love is that high, that deep, that wide, that long. I think you and I both know. It's impossible that that's the conversation we meet when we get to heaven. And He goes, gosh, why did you make me so big? But I do think it's possible that there's going to be a few moments where He says, you could have made me bigger. Don't limit me. Let me love them. Let me embrace them. Tune your ministry, Paul, to the sound of my symphony. And if you can, anything's possible. For if any two of you are in symphony on anything on earth, you move heaven. So how are you going to do that? You better find heaven's symphony. And when you tune to the symphony of heaven, there's no limits of what the kingdom can accomplish. See, it's why I'm optimistic. In the middle of a pretty pessimistic, chaotic world, I'm pretty optimistic. And I'm optimistic because we survive. You see, the church of Jesus Christ survives. Why? Because in the book of Revelation, in all 7 churches, He's standing in the middle of them. Even the ones that are not doing well. Even us, when we drop the ball, where's Jesus? In the middle of His church. Complimenting her first, reprimanding her second. Because there are things to compliment, but believe you me, there are things to reprimand. We don't like to say this in grace circles, but the book of Revelation is pretty clear that at least 4 of the 7 churches, He goes, I got somewhat against you. That's like 65% of the time. He goes, I got some problems with some of the stuff you're doing. But it's okay. I'm in the middle of you. You and I can get in the same tune. We can flow in the same river. And if we do, there's nothing that could not be accomplished. Our text from Matthew is not about if the 2 of us could agree on one thing, God has to do what it is we say. It's if the 2 of us could get our music in tune with the melody of heaven. There's no telling what heaven could do in our hell. And so while I look around and see some hell, I believe the music of heaven is still playing. I just might have to shut all the other music off. Amen. Listen for the sound. Try to get my life in tune with it. And I know that's going to hurt, man, because I know when I get my life in tune, I'm going to have a couple places I'm pretty confident I'm right, and the Holy Spirit's going to go, it isn't about being right. It's about you laying down yourself to pick up someone else's burden. So it isn't about you winning. It's about me winning, He says. It's about me loving and showing what love looks like through us. We're His arms, we're His hands, we're His feet. We're the hope for the earth. If you're pessimistic, you've forgotten the church. And if you've forgotten the church, you've forgotten the Jesus that stands in it. You can't be pessimistic and belong to the kingdom. It's not possible. Because the kingdom is like a woman that puts yeast into the bread and the bread keeps rising. We're still rising. It's just time for the church to change the melody, change the tune. And get back to where James goes, I perceive the prophets were always saying this. And you could have raised your hand that day and went, oh, no, they weren't. Look at this verse and this verse and this verse and this verse. James, you're wrong. The prophets were not all saying that. And we'd be missing the point of the music. Because the point of finding the melody is not to dwell on everybody that's out of tune in the orchestra. It's to find that melody and line up our lives in harmony with it. And that's what James is saying. And that's what I want to do. And I know it's what you want to do. And how do I do it? Listen for Him, watch for Him, wait for Him, see Him.